Good morning, everybody. What is going on? All you stylists from the back room. We are live this week. We got to talk about blow drying, how you're blow drying your hair. Are you blow drying your hair correctly? We are also talking about an amazing opportunity to be able to make a lot of income really quick and really easy. And then we got our quiz. I got the motivation this week. I'm changing up the motivation slightly. So that's what I got. Morning, John.
Good morning. Hey, everybody. How you doing? How's everybody's week going so far? It's Tuesday. It's the beginning of the end of April, the beginning of May. We got the busy bus should be pulling up any day now with graduations and proms and all that happiness. Actually saw a bunch of prom kids in a limo this past Friday. It was kind of cool. Yeah.
Did you ever go to prom?
I did. I went to my senior prom. I did not go to my junior prom.
You went to your senior prom, yeah?
I will dig. I have a picture. I have a picture. The beautiful young lady that I went to prom with, hair was about this tall.
That's awesome.
It was the 80s, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had a bad mullet. It was great. To switch subjects real quick is we have an event coming up in May 19th.
Okay, yeah.
May 19th, we are sold out, right?
Right.
And we have a third date for June, correct?
June 16th.
June 16th. And those tickets are going quickly, are they not, young man?
We're halfway sold out.
So if you guys are in
I know where you're going
Illinois,
with this. I'm nervous to answer questions. Who do you work for? Who are you? What's with all the questions?
and half sold out. Tickets are going quickly. If you're in Illinois or you want to come to Illinois for some education, we've got a full day of hair education for you, and some fun, and it goes very quickly. It's not a long day. The room is amazing. The seats are amazing. I'm just impressed with the seats. Because how many classes have we all sat in where we were sitting on folding chairs with our butts falling asleep?
Yeah, no, these are nice office chairs. These are actual fucking with cushions and everything.
And it's a tiered room, so there is no bad view. And the education is going to be excellent. And there'll be deals from HTB Beauty. So sign up. You can go to htbbeauty.com and sign up on the website, and you won't be sorry. You won't be sad. You won't be sad.
No, it's a nice day. It's a 7-hour, so you can get half your education hours in one sitting. We're going to be covering an array of topics. So we'll go from hair loss, shedding, or hair loss and shedding. We're going to be doing 3, possibly 4 hair. We ended up doing 4 haircuts last time.
Yep.
But we're slated for 3 haircuts. We're going to talk about why your color fails, why your toners fail. We're talking about styling tips,
Keratin depletion,
2 different types of hair extensions applications. What am I forgetting? There's another topic I'm forgetting that we go over as well too.
We're doing Xenogen, all nutrient, sheet hair extensions, on-stage hair extensions, and kerotherapy.
And ergo.
Ergo. Sorry.
Right. And carpal tunnel, or body fatigue, things like that. So there's a lot of topics that we're going over. And lunch is included. We have an Ask Me Anything segment during the lunch hour. That was interesting last time. Eddie
and I hang out with you during lunch, and you can ask us anything. But be careful of the subject matter.
No. Be careful to get your any question answered. Because I have no shame and I have no filter, and I don't censor myself from anything. So You ask me, you're gonna get an answer. So don't ask a question you ain't prepared for an answer from.
I like that.
I'll leave it at that. That's
I like
what we
that.
got. All right, here we go this week.
You got a quiz for me, big guy?
When neutralizing brassiness in level 8 blonde, which toner base is ideal? Is it? Oh, I just lost my place. My bad. One moment. Is it gold, violet, blue, or red?
Wait. I got an answer. I have my handy dandy all nutrient color book.
Okay. We're going science here.
And look what's on the inside of the cover. So when you say brassiness, what kind of brassiness are we talking about?
Level 8.
Level 8, which would be gold orange.
Okay.
So we can go to our handy dandy color wheel that is on the inside of our shameless plug all nutrient color book.
You are not allowed to do these streams from the salon any longer.
So actually, it would be blue or blue green.
Okay. All right. Ding, ding, ding. In hair cutting, what does weight removal primarily achieve? Does it add volume at the root? Does it reduce bulk without changing perimeter length? Does it shorten hair? Or does it make hair grow faster? And if you go grab your shears, I swear to God.
You mean my Sucacia bitting shears?
Get out of here. You're a walking infomercial, man, today.
It's number 2, removing bulk. It's removing weight, or whatever number 2 was.
Yeah, reduces bulk without changing length.
Yes.
I'm afraid now I'm afraid to ask the next question. In a keratin smoothing service, what is the purpose of flat ironing after the product is applied? Does it seal the cuticle and lock the smoothing treatment in place? Does it remove all moisture? Does it lighten the hair by one level? Or does it break down the natural curl pattern permanently?
Well, first off, with a keratin smoothing treatment, you're not permanently changing the curl pattern. So I'm going to go with A. It's closing down the cuticle and sealing it in.
Man, I thought you were going to pull out a treatment.
I could if you want.
No. What is the primary structural difference between fine hair and coarse hair? Fine hair has more cuticle layer. Coarse hair has a thicker cortex. Coarse hair has a weaker medulla, or fine hair grows faster than coarse hair.
Huh? Give me those choices again. What's the structural difference?
What is the structural difference between fine hair and coarse hair? So I'll do this for you. We'll do fine hair first. Does fine hair has more cuticle layers? Does fine hair grow faster? Or does coarse hair have a thicker cortex? Or does coarse hair have a weaker medulla?
I'm going to go coarse hair has a thicker cortex.
See, I tried to see. It doesn't feel good when science questions are in there, is it?
I like science.
Well, there you go.
Science! What's that? What was that song?
What is the maximum recommended lift you can solely achieve in a single lightning session without extreme damage? 1 to 2 levels, 3 to 4 levels, 5 to 6 levels or 7 or more?
Safely without blowing up the hair, I'm going to go 3 to 4 levels. Are we using lightener or are we using high lift tint?
Lightener.
I'm going to safely say 3 to 4 levels without compromising the hair.
Safely, okay, fine. But then what's the maximum limit?
5 to 6.
So this is why consultation is so important. And this is why getting a good read on the hair is equally vital and so important. Figuring out porosity in the hair is what dictates and determines whether you should do 3 to 4 or 5 to 6. You know, I don't care what the brand you're using says. Use your brain. Because gosh, the phone calls we get.
See, now if you had your handy dandy all nutrient color book,
Yeah.
and you open the inside cover, this tells you what your contributing pigments are going to be at each level in your handy dandy all nutrient color book. I'm just goofing around with that. In all seriousness, though, you are 100% correct. You have to read the hair. You have to know the hair, what it's going to be capable of. And of course, we all follow manufacturers' directions. And you know, hair will tell you how far you can go with it and how far you can't. But yes, consultation, and I preach it all the time. I preach it to all the young people that we deal with. Consultation, consultation, consultation. Besides the fact of that hair telling you, you're also managing that client's expectations too. Because they've seen on some social media site, some starlet or influencer went from, level 2 box colored hair to platinum blonde in one step. I want to know who that colorist is or stylist, and I want to learn at their feet because they can accomplish that in one step. I want to know how, I want to know where, I want to know why. Okay, but levels of lift, you've got to be careful, and we all get the clients that come in that were lightened past where they should have been lightened. And now that hair doesn't have a cuticle on it anymore. That hair is compromised, and we have to. And then that person has to spend a lot of time bringing that hair somewhat back into shape. So there we go. With as we discussed on Profitable Stylist, with the miracle witchcraft that we do with bond builders and glosses and things like that.
Cracks me up, man. Cracks me up every week.
He kills me. But anyway, yes. So yes, the answer is yes.
All right. Since perms are trending really strong right now, and since you love perms, you love wrapping perms so much.
Look, I'm getting PTSD from perms. Go ahead.
Which hair bond is responsible for the hair's strength and is targeted during perming services? Is it the hydrogen, the salt, the disulfide, or the ionic bond?
Disulfide bond.
Disulfide bond.
Was that right?
Is what controls, the disulfide bond is what controls the curl pattern in the hair.
Yes, it does. Salt bonds, you can break them down, but they reform.
They do.
Yep.
They do. And hydrogen bonds, you can always remoisturize.
Yep.
And ionic bonds just depends how you're styling, I guess.
I got a question for you because I actually got it from a client. When you have a brush, and when you have a brush, and it is ionically charged.
Yeah.
How does that brush, that inanimate objects stay ionically charged? Do we know? Do you know this? Because I didn't have an answer for it.
Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, really. All right, it's charged with ions. Well, first off, which ions is it charged with? Is it charged with negative ions or positive ions? But then this is an inanimate object, right?
Okay.
And this object has been blow dried on. It's been, you've sanitized it, you've washed it. I mean, where does the charge go? Does the charge stay in the piece, or does it go out into the atmosphere?
So
and I'm going off on topic big time.
No. It's all good. It's fine. It's fine. It's actually interesting. In the atmosphere around us, okay, in the air we breathe and everything else, right? There is electricity that exists. Everything is electricity. There's a lot of other things happening in the world, but for the, sake of conversation, I'm only focusing on the electrical charge that exists amongst many other things that exist in the atmosphere. That charge is a positive ionic charge. We as humans also generate a positive ionic charge. It is why your hair frizzes in humidity, because it's missing moisture, it's reaching for the air, it's rubbing against the air physically because it's reaching for moisture, the moisture molecules, right? But because we're positive charged and the atmosphere is positive charged, it starts rubbing together. That's why you get static or frizz or your hair blows up. It's no different than when you go to the science museum and you touch that little ball with the little electrical things and it makes your hair stand up. Is because that ball is equally positive charged. So when we physically touch it, like charges repel, opposite charges attract. Okay. So that again, another example, you walk across the carpet, you got your socks on, you go to touch the light, turn it on, turn it off, whatever, you zap yourself, right? You rub balloons on your head, you're causing that friction, static. That's all. Those are all examples of daily positive charge we see all the time. Okay. Now you start blow dry, you have flat iron, even curling irons for the most part, but primarily blow drying with round brushes or paddle brushes, flat ironing. All of a sudden you got silky smooth. All of a sudden you got shine. All of a sudden you got volume. All of a sudden you've got everything tame, under control, reflecting light, all the beautiful things we talk about all the time. Okay. There is a natural stone. There is a natural resource called tourmaline. So that stone, what they do is they take that, they grind it down into a very fine dust powder, and they infuse that into the bristles of your brush. Okay. So tourmaline has got that infused. The bristles has that tourmaline infused into those bristles, whether it's the round brush, whether it's the paddle brush. In a flat iron, it's got it onto the plates. In the blow dryer, it's got it inside, the components that make it work. Tourmaline becomes heat activated. It's nature's deodorizer. It has a property that when it heats up, it releases negative ions. And a lot of animals will rub themselves against it to kind of cleanse themselves and deodorize themselves so they can kind of like hide their scent from predatorily animals and stuff like that. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, we used to smoke cigarettes, everywhere. So when negative ions first was introduced to the market, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, because it was like, oh, you could brush your hair and take away the cigarette smoke, because you don't wash your hair every day,
Right,
you wash your hair like once or twice a week. And so on the off days, what do? And you're like, you're spraying the hell out of your hair so much with the buildup, instead you could just brush your hair and take away the scent. And that's really what it is. So anytime you take your blow dryer and you start, this is why you notice a hairdresser will always preheat their brush before they put the brush into the client's hair and they start blow drying that section. They always preheat that brush first. They're trying to warm up that barrel, generally a ceramic barrel. They're trying to preheat that barrel. It's going to start generating and releasing the negative ions by the time they put it into the hair. And then you start pulling and you're doing that mechanical smoothing. If you're trying to create, smoothness, or you're just letting it set at the base of your head for volume, well, whatever you're trying to do, it doesn't matter. But
Right.
you are releasing those negative ions. And then, then it cools back down. That tourmaline doesn't go away. It's just cooled down. So it's in a resting state until the next time you rewarm it back up again. Then, and then it starts releasing those negative ions again.
I dig that. That's cool.
Now, that's the whole long of it for you and other stylists watching. And if you're not a stylist, there's a lesson for you. The short and narrow of it, if a client was asking, I would simply say, there's a special ingredient. This is what I would say to a client. There's a special ingredient. It's a stone, tourmaline. A lot of clients know about it because stone energy right now is very popular. Well, it's always been popular, but especially now. So the special stone, tourmaline, they infuse that into the bristles. It's activated by heat. That's why it works when you're styling your hair. That's why it's important to style your hair. And then that brings me on to, this is why you should pre-dry your hair before you should get all the wetness out so it's not dripping wet before you start blow drying, because water is a natural solvent. So if you just start from wet to dry, you're not allowing, it's blocking all those ions from getting in. So you should pre-dry your hair a little bit so you're not dripping wet.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute or two. But my question, I have a statement then a question. First statement is tourmaline was also used on the nose cone of the space shuttle. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, for re-entry to protect against the heat, excessive heat.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Okay. And FYI. And second off, when you were talking about the frizz, and the hair seeking, really seeking it out. The other part of that too is we really should get into the stylist kits that we have available at HTB Beauty, right?
So the stylist kit, okay, so it's a specific brand. The stylist kits that we have is a specific brand. That brand is called Keratherapy.
Right.
And what the reason behind their approach is all about keratin depletion. A lot of people are worried or focused primarily on smoothing, on keratin smoothing. And I'm not saying anything about keratin smoothing. It's fine. It strengthens your hair. It smooths out your hair. It protects you from everything, But the stylist kit, what's nice about it is it's all self-contained. You get your pre-treatment, your clarifying shampoo, the pre-treatment. You get the actual smoothing treatment itself. You get the aftercare products, and you get the maintenance service spray included with it as well too. And what's really nice about that is it all comes in one little kit. You could, depending on how much hair your client has, you could do 1 or 2 services with that one kit. You could do 2 to 3 services with that one kit. What's nice about it is it's just a self-contained kit. So you're not ending up with liters and liters of inventory,
So what is that now? I know we got a special going on, and especially it's the class special coming. How much is that kit?
I can't say, but I can't say because we're live, but we can on May 19th, we could definitely we could, obviously it'll be available on May 19th. It'll equally be available on June 16th. the stylist kits themselves are also positioned with such a price that makes it very reasonable. Okay. And if you go to htbbeauty.com, you're a registered stylist, you'll be able to see those pricing. Or if you call our office, and you have an account with us because we verified that you're a stylist, we can share you that pricing. That's fine. I mean, I do that all day long, and I don't care about that part.
Yeah.
The idea behind it, though, is how much is a smoothing service go for these days? Like an express service?
My expresses start at $165.
Do you do full keratin treatments?
Yes.
How much do those start at?
$300.
I mean, even if you get 2 services out of this kit, that's that's what we're talking. That's how we're talking about this. For a very reasonable cost, you are producing $600 or more, $650 or more worth of service dollars.
Right.
Even at the express price, you're still producing, a lot of income, and you don't have inventory sitting there collecting dust.
Right.
So especially if you have, one treatment a month, then it totally makes sense to get a kit. If you do a treatment once in a blue moon, then it totally makes sense to get a kit. Even if you do 1 treatment a week, but it's only for this particular spring season.
You're going to get me going? You get me fired up? You're going to get me fired up about this, aren't you?
It makes sense to get the kits every week as you need them. So this way you don't have a bottle of stuff sitting there.
That goes, and eventually will go bad. You're 100% correct. And then also for those of us that have very limited space in our shops, you're not keeping a massive back bar. These are great little self-contained kits, and it's boom, 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 boom. And the profit margin on them is huge. And you know what, guys? And I'm going to sound like an idiot, but that's okay. Everybody knows I'm an idiot. It's okay to make money. It's okay. It's okay to make money. And it's okay to watch your bottom line. And if you have to use more product for a client, here's a secret, guys. Charge the client for it. If you've got to mix up more, all right. Let me ask you a question. You give me that look. If you're doing a client and you're doing color on a client, and you have to go back and mix more, do you charge the client for that extra color because they have Wolverine hair?
It's portion control. Okay, there is a recommended amount that you use per service. The reason why that's a recommended amount is because we are trying to produce a very specific result on a very specific type of hair. And I say this all the time. Science is fun, but science is dumb. It doesn't know what you want it to do. It only knows what you tell it to do. When you oversaturate, when you overuse, when you overmix, you are choking out your product. You're not allowing your product to process the way it was intended to. The directions matter. We may not necessarily always read directions. We may not necessarily care about directions, but directions matter. It's interesting to me because every time I get a phone call and it says, I got a problem with the product, I always hear the same 2 BS crap excuses. I've been doing this for years. I never had a problem until now. Or my client has been getting this service for years. She never had a problem until now. So you have been playing Russian roulette for years, and you just had the devil's luck that you never took the one from the chamber, and now you did.
Mr. Murphy shows up. manufacturer's directions are there for a reason. We need to read them first off. And yes, but also I think something that needs to be addressed too is, yeah, this client has been getting this service for years. There's a lot of contributing factors into that. If you really want to get deep into it, you can look at, medication. Also, our water supply has changed drastically over the years with all the chemicals and stuff that are in our water. And when they're rinsing their hair out, they're putting those chemicals into their hair. I mean, those are just a couple of things. There's a big long list that we all need to go through.
There are so many variables. Yeah.
It's not a bad tube of color. It's not a bad bottle of smoother. It's not, a bad set of hair extensions. Okay. I will go around. I will take this till my last breath. All these gajillion-dollar companies, they're large companies, they have quality control for a reason. And there isn't going to be that one tube that sneaks through, or that and you can add whatever to a tube all the way up, extension, whatever. A lot of times it's operator malfunction. It really is. And I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. You try to cut a corner. You're running behind, whatever. You become complacent. And all of a sudden, you get bit. That's why. The directions are there for a reason. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Which segues us right into our next subject, which is wet to dry blow drying. One of my major pet peeves is I see a stylist with this wet head of hair, section it off and start round brushing it, dripping wet. What? Why? Why are you making yourself work 100 times harder?
Because last week you told everybody to just let it air dry from wet to dry. That's karma biting you in your butt. That's your Russian roulette. That's what you get.
I only took that side of it. If you go back and watch, I only took that side of it so you could step up on your soapbox and preach. So, because at the end, I agreed with you wholeheartedly that you must pre-dry before you style.
See, and this is your divine punishment. Now you get to watch painstaking.
I got a lot of divine punishment coming my way. So, and I still stand by the fact I need better friends. So, so talk me through this, because I don't, and maybe I missed it because beauty school was 35 years ago. But I missed it where you just take your round brush straight to sopping wet hair. Did I miss something somewhere?
No, when your hair is dripping wet, it stretches better. So the elasticity, it stretches better. So if you start pulling on it when it's sopping wet, you can actually extend your hair. It'll help make your hair longer. So so when you're blow drying it from wet to dry, when you're blow drying it from dripping wet to dry like that, you're stretching your hair longer, so you get more length. That's how do you think people are getting mermaid hair? If it's not hair extensions, then that's how you do it. It's a trick. It's a tip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you sprayed a leave-in, because you spray a leave-in conditioner too. Because the leave-in conditioner
and a bond builder.
Yeah, it protects everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, talk me through
I just did.
No, you didn't, because I've never, in the gajillion years that we've known each other, I have never seen you just tear after with a brush a round brush, a head of sopping wet hair.
You know what? Maybe it's time to grow and expand my horizons. Maybe I
Okay.
like working out. Maybe that's arm day. Does that count as arm day?
Well, the first two would count as arm day. After that, then you're just what, fatigued?
Look, man, somebody's got to keep physical therapy going. You know, those people need jobs too. They need patients, fresh patients. Nah, this is all you, buddy. No. I'm see, this is my revenge and my payback from last week. I'm taking the BS side of this topic this week, and I am supporting. Who has time to pre-dry their hair before they start blow drying their hair? I got things to do. Ain't got, what is it? How does it? Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. Who would pre-dry their hair before blow drying it to speed up the blow drying time? That sounds like double work to me. So therefore, I think wet to dry, dripping wet to dry is faster because that's just one blow drying, not two types of blow drying. Maybe that's a reason why people do it. Maybe I just don't like volume. Okay. Maybe I like conditioning my hair and having frizz. Hey, you know, frizz. Why? Okay. Why was frizz in the 80s considered volume? Why is frizz in the current day now considered damage?
I got nothing for you on this because it's so asinine that it just is unbelievable. Okay, here's the deal, guys, and you can put it in the comments or just make fun of Eddie any way you can. Here's the deal: how many people out there actually just blow dry wet to dry? Okay, and if you do, how soon till that style falls apart?
5 minutes. That's why you need hairspray and root boost and dry shampoo and powder and paste and mousse and more leave-ins. And you need avocado, you need eggs, you need aloe, you need coconut oil, grass, butter, Land O'Lakes. Do they make Land O'Lakes anymore?
Well, yeah, they make Land O'Lakes. And they make the new soft serve kind, so it's perfect. It'll work right in.
I can't believe it's not butter. You know,
I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, put it in the comments because the true way and the best way is you've got to pre-dry your hair a little bit, get a lot of that moisture out, get it about 80% of the moisture out, and then you can go in with your round brush or whatever brush or what you're trying and achieve your style. That is the fact of the matter. And to take a step back, just a minute ago with Eddie and I talking and yes, you take your brush and you heat the barrel first. Heat up your barrel a little bit, get that going, and then do your round brush work or your flat brush work, whatever it is. I got a hair in here. Hold on. But you have to pre-dry the hair. I don't care what Eddie says, because I'm speaking of science and facts.
So what is the problem when the hair is so wet and you start blow drying immediately?
You're not going to get any kind of hold. First off, second off, the hair is still so pliable. It's just going to stretch and spring back, and you're going to double work. You're doing double work. You're not going to get silky smooth like you say because you are Zohan. You are the Armenian Zohan. Every time you say silky smooth, I go right back to that movie.
I know it messes you up. That's why I do it all the time. So yeah, so it's basically every excuse I gave. It's the opposite of every excuse I gave.
It is. And once again, I'm at this stage of the game. I am work smarter, not harder. And any less stress on my shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists, and neck I will take. Any less stress, I will take. And for you guys that are just starting out and getting into this, save yourselves now instead of later on in life, because back in the day we were not shown we didn't have all the cool stuff that you guys have now that makes your job a whole lot easier. But also, no one taught us body position. No one taught us how to stand correctly. No one taught us how to wear correct shoes. I mean, first 10 years in this business, I wore cowboy boots. No wonder why my back is the mess that it is. I'm tired of, I heard someone once told me that our business is a young person's business. And I say shenanigans on that, because with our business, you really don't gain a lot of wisdom and knowledge until you become a little bit older and you beat yourself up. So there are those of us old people that are trying to help you guys out and tell you that take care of your bodies, take care of yourself, and in the long run, you'll have a longer, more profitable career.
Ooh.
and also make sure that you always have your all nutrient color book
your handy dandy all nutrient color book. Is that what you were calling it all day?
I want to put it on a chain and just hang it around my neck.
I got you.
And I know this is the last time I'm allowed to do this from the salon, so I got to take advantage of it. So, I just to seal it off, wet to dry. Come on, guys. So, and a client of mine brought me, and we'll close this off real quick. But a client of mine brought me this flat iron she bought on Amazonian. It's a wet to dry flat iron. It's got steam vents in it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
There are so many things wrong with it, and maybe I'm just ignorant. I don't know, but steaming the hair, I guess it will. I mean, if you steam clothes, it takes the wrinkles out of it. You got nothing on that. You got nothing, do you?
No, look, it's simply this. This is the advice. Here's the problem. Here is the problem. And I want you to remind me of this. We should, if it's possible, for the hours class, for May 19 and June 16, if it's possible, we should bring an iron and a steamer, like a legit clothing iron and a steamer. Okay, and we should singe a t-shirt. We should pour water and make a t-shirt wet, soak wet, and put the iron to it and watch how it burns. And then we should get a second t-shirt and just kind of like mist it, spray it so it's not soak wet, it's just damp, and take the steamer to it and show how it smooths out nice. And then we should even take the iron and dampen a t-shirt and show that. That's what we should do. Forget about the steamer, actually. We should just bring an iron, soak one t-shirt and show how it burns the crap out of it. Take a second t-shirt, mist it, and show how that just nicely smooths it out.
Right.
Okay?
Right. I like that idea.
I mean, in essence, that's what you're doing to your hair. You are the heat is not your heat is great when used properly. Heat is detrimental when man, I guess Russian roulette is the theme of today. You do not want to find out. Just believe me when I tell you, you do not want to find out.
So, you got motivation, buddy.
Okay.
Give me some motivation.
Something a little different with the motivation this week.
I like that. Let's go.
I'm going to give you a quote, right? But this quote is going to be homework. So I'm going to try this a little bit different. Now, This one is going to take a financial side, but it could be converted into anything else. Opportunities don't just show up. They're attracted to the energy you put out. Start by showing up today like the person who already deserves more. Okay, I'll do it again. Opportunities don't just show up. They're attracted to the energy you put out. Start by showing up today like the person who already deserves more.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Now, before I give the homework, what do you take from that?
See, that takes me back when I was in college and we were learning how to interview for jobs.
Okay.
And it was dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Because you always want to do,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then when I got into this business, it was always, you have to dress for the clients you want, not the clients that you have. I was told that. I was told you always have to dress up. For a long time, I worked next to someone who wore a t-shirt and and basically joggers every day. And hair wasn't done. I worked next to another woman who barely did her makeup and just looked like, you can't look like a schlub, because the way you look is really the way you feel about yourself. Okay. I take you for instance. I've never seen you without your beard trimmed and your hair done.
It's annoying.
Okay, but I've never seen you without it ever. Even on days that we aren't doing anything.
You never know who you're going to run into.
Exactly. So, and that's the whole thing. I worked for the lady that I worked for right out of beauty school. That's why I always wear a collared shirt, because she beat me into the ground. She goes, you're not going to the gym. You're not going to a bar. She goes, why are you wearing a t-shirt? She goes, you're not just lounging on the couch. She goes, make sure you always have a collared shirt on. And that's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's almost the same thing, where show up and with the energy of you're someone who deserves more, instead of the energy of this is good enough. Once again, old, complacency breeds contempt. And I've worked with people that, this is how they operate. This is what's making me money right now. I don't need to know anything else. I'm not going to get any advanced education. I'm going to get just enough CU hours to make sure that I don't get audited for my license. It's the same thing. You got to show up with that energy. You got to show up with the same energy every day. It's something that we used to preach to all our trainees was, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life. When you walk through that door, it stays in the car. Yeah. You can pick it back up when you're done here. You don't bring your personal life into work. You come in with the same energy that you want these people to be paying you and want you to do their hair. You're right. I love it. I think that's a great quote.
It really is. It's interesting. I'm thinking about this as you're saying it. It's wild. It is like, it is, I complain to you a lot about it all the time, because I'm always, every week, I'm not, it's very rare that I'm in the mood to color my face, to color my hair, to go get a freaking haircut, to trim, to shave. It's a lot. And people, it's funny because people who know me personally, right? I'm not vain. I could care less. But when it comes to work, I'm all in. Like when work is involved, I am focused. I am all in. When it comes to personal life, believe it or not, I am probably the most easygoing, carefree. I'll say whatever the hell is on my mind in that moment, NFG all day long.
Right. Right.
But yeah, this has been a problem. Wherever you never know who you're going to run into at the grocery, at Target, at whatever, wherever, whenever.
Right.
When like you said, collar shirt, I make it a point. It's really hard to find clothes all the time because clothes nowadays have either a logo or a branding or some kind of graphic on them, and it's fun. They look cool. They're awesome. I would love to be able to do that. When is the last time you've seen me wear something that's just not a solid plain, it sucks, man. It sucks.
No, but there's dressing in your personal life, but then there's dressing professionally. And it's the same way with, okay, you want to, on your day off, if you want to be low key and just lay on the couch, you know what? You earned it. You busted your tail. You stood on your feet for 12 hours a day for 5 days in a row. Then you know what? That's fine. But come that next day that you're due back at work, your energy should be here. It should always be here, never changing, because that's what these people are coming to you for. They're coming for your skills, but they're also coming for your energy, because that's what attracts them to you. Bottom line, I love it.
So here's your homework. Each day this week, invest 5 minutes into learning one thing that can grow your skills or your income. Just
I like
5
that.
minutes, and it could be as simple as look at your menu. Tomorrow, look at your Instagram account. The next day, look at your website if you have one. Should you have one if you don't have one? The next day, 5 minutes. Look at your station, how you have your station set up for the day. The next day, 5 minutes. Just look at your book. How are you laying out your book? Every day, if you just dedicate uninterrupted, I set a timer on my phone. Literally, I set a 1 hour timer on my phone for organizing because I'm just a freakazoid when it comes to you and I are very structured in that way, right? I can get lost for days, especially when I go down into the basement. I could be down there forever. Look like the Fallout series. I come out 100 years later, the world is over.
You're preaching to the choir, because I am about as psycho about organization as they come. And especially my station and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because I want to work smarter. I don't want to work harder.
So that's the motivation for this week. That's your homework.
Yep. And don't forget to always have your handy dandy all nutrient color book.
Go to HGBbeauty.com and get yourself a color book. You should do an infomercial.
I'm expecting a kickback from All Nutrient. But
for a swatch book.
So anyway,
more to print than what they sell them for.
So guys, once again, just to recap everything, we're sold out for our May class, but our June class does have openings. It's selling fast. Go to htbbeauty.com, register. You're going to have a lot of fun with us. You're going to get a lot of great pricing on some stuff too. But more importantly, you'll get a ton of education. And that's really what's the most important thing. And if you're in Illinois, you're going to cover half your hours. Boom, 7. Boom. I think that's all we got for you guys this week. We thank you for joining us, and you guys that send us comments and emails, and even those couple of you that really hate us, we love you. It's our wives. I know it's our wives. They've teamed up against. Yeah, they've teamed up against us. But anyway, thanks, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. Have a great week.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.